Everything is happening. But we got a Jesus that he stays right by our side. He keeps us. And he never leaves us. And all we got to do is just hold on to God's untrembling hand. I oftentimes remind you, it takes faith to step out on nothing. Now, I mean, ain't nothing doubt. And believe that something is there. It takes faith to step out on nothing and believe that something is there. In these trying times, you know the storm is coming down through Louisiana, and it's devastating. I mean, but you find out you can't run and you can't hide. You know, God got all power, and some of everything is happening. So if you think you can move and get satisfied in another place, then something's going to happen now. But if you wrap yourself up in Jesus, that's all we got. If you learn to wrap yourself up in Jesus Christ, I'm going to tell you, it'll be all right. It'll be well with your soul. And that's what we're looking for. For God we live, for God we die. Yeah, you know, I'm oftentimes, I wonder a lot. See, we was out of church 16 months. And you know, anybody that loves the Lord, you know what they'll do? They'll find themselves one or two ways. Number one is you're trying to find yourself keeping God's word. And number two is when the opportunity comes, you know what you do? You'll be glad. You'll be glad. I mean, it won't be no holdback. Won't be no excuse. See, we ain't on vacation. See, when it comes, I know this is still Sunday. Yeah. But you know, every Sunday is a Sunday with God. But anyway, I just love to praise his name. I'm glad God gave me an opportunity to come and praise with you his holy name. Because I realized that he got up from the grave with all power in heaven and earth in his hand. And he let our golden mama roll on just a little while longer. It is not on account of our goodness. God's grace and mercy is the only thing that's keeping you and I alive. And I don't mind telling nobody nowhere. I will praise his holy name. Now, I don't mean to hit nobody. I ain't trying to miss nobody. Because when you preach God's word, it goes everywhere. It goes for everybody. You know. So, but God's just so good to us. And we just take it too lightly. But I'm going to tell you, and I know people oftentimes talking about they want to get back to the norm. Let me tell you, this is the norm. You got your mind somewhere else. God said every day he sins is good, isn't it? So he tells us all the time, new mercies that he grants us every day. Yes, sir. When we wake up and start us on our way, God does not give us a sheet with errors on it and tell us correct. What he does is he tells us, come on, let's start again. Boy, I thank God for that. Because see, God had took me, or God had probably took you 10, 20, 30 years ago. You know what? You'd have been in here. You just let it roll back slow. Just let it roll back slow. And look at your real life. Boy, I thank the Lord for another opportunity. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I want to welcome everybody. It's a blessing and it's a privilege to be in the house of the Lord one more time. Now you could have been somewhere else, but I'm going to tell you whatever else you would have been would not have given you what the Lord has given you. You know, God good to wake us up every morning, start us on our way, and forgive us for our many sins. Lord have mercy. And we do a lot of sin, you know, by just omission. We don't realize, you know. But God, with his amazing forgiveness, he brought them out. And you know what? We let folks lead us because everybody else do it. We get lazy, we get tired. Everybody else do it I'm gonna do what everybody else do. I'm all right. But let me ask you a question. Do you think you've done enough to get into heaven right now? Do you think you got enough brownie? If the Lord would call you today, you'll say, present. I'm ready. Yeah. And that's what we got to look at life. See, we don't play with life all our life. We don't watch everybody, but we ain't paid attention to God. See, God told us when we were young, when you was children, they've been singing the same song all of our lives, but you know what? It ain't rested up. And you just like me, you thought, well, that's for somebody else. That don't happen in your age, in your time. But I'm telling you, it's him right now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. You're going to be in big trouble. I ain't going to hold you long. I know it's the fifth Sunday, but the fifth Sunday, to me, that's just great. That's just another Sunday. Because, see, we only come to give him praise and lift his holy name. See, and we ain't in no contest with nobody. Only thing when we come is to praise the Lord holy name. Now, if you can't get a praise up for all what the Lord has done for you down through your life, how he has taken care of you, and then you have to just look. I can talk all day, just look at your family.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he done took care of you. He done took care of your family, your sister, your brother, your mama, your aunt, your uncle. He done gave you a job, a home, a car, and everything. And you think we got to be tight? Never ever. God is just that good. We're going to enter into our text. I'm excited. I stay excited all the time. But our text today is coming from Genesis, the 37th chapter. And I want you to stand. And we're going to read verses 5 through 8. Verses 5 through 8. And you realize this is the story of Joseph's life. And the boy with the coats on many colors. The one got sold in slavery. Yes, sir. Joseph. Can we read? Verse 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brother, and they hated him at the moment. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we was down the sheep in the field, and lo, the sheep arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheep stood and made my sheep. And his brother said to him, Shall thou indeed reign over us? Indeed, have dominion over us. And they hated him yet the more. Amen. In that ninth verse, you can be seated. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to point it out to you. In that ninth verse, and he dreamed yet another dream. And he told it to his brother. And they said, Behold, dream a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obstacles to him. He said, even the sun and the moon bowed down to him. Or paid him tribute. I don't care how you want to put it. Yeah. Our text today is talking about Joseph. Yeah. And I want you to at least get 3 points from him. Point number 1 is Jacob's favorite son was Joseph. Number 2, his brother hated him. And 3, Joseph said, You thought it evil against me, but God meant it for good unto me. At least you can at least get them 3 thoughts. Jacob loved Joseph. His brother hated him. And Joseph had enough Jesus Christ, love, I don't care what you in him to say. You thought it was evil, but God, I mean, it was good. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Yeah. And what you are learning, boy, I challenge you to read at least from 37 to 50. If you want to read a good story, if you talk about folks talking about they got the best sellers on the market, if you read this story here, boy, I tell you, you'll be elated and you'll learn a lot about what really went on, what we call religion. Our lesson here, the title of our subject here, I'm going to try to give you a snapshot of perseverance. A snapshot of perseverance. Big word, right? Let me define that word for you. Perseverance. That's something. But it's a commitment. Perseverance is a commitment. And what we call sticking into it, regardless of the situation, no matter how long it takes. That's what perseverance is about. I'm gonna stay in here. I don't care how long it takes. And when you read your books, you'll find that individuals and people that have successfully created and did things, you'll find out that they tell you the truth that it took longer than they thought it would. But they never gave up. See, sometimes the problem is that we give up too quick. Now, all this one I'm trying to relate to you is about our Christianity. You know, we in lifetime, something go wrong, you know what? We're going to throw our hands over. Yeah. But that ain't where it is. God wants us to give our life unto Him forevermore. And He'll work the rest out. Now, I know we all have dreams, and folks say, I dream they're like this. But as long as you think you can see the end of your dream, you really ain't turning that dream over to the Lord. Because see, you can't never see the end of it because the Lord might not allow it to come out like that. God works things out. He said, your thought ain't my thought and your ways ain't my way. And I got to learn how to lean and give that to Jesus, let Him work it out. And when He work it out, it'll come out all right. And that's what we a Christian got to do. Joseph here, and it is just so many things in there. Listen, I see I'm talking about a snapshot of perseverance. And that is in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving the success. That means you won't stay on in there, right? That's what we're trying to lay down. And you did it all your life. We all have did. When we got rid of our house, our cars, and different things, you know what we did? You saved, you put your heads together, and you stayed there until you seen that thing come to pass. And that's what we got to do in Christianity. Now, I know, they say this, and I really don't like to do it. They say, everybody talk about heaven ain't going no heaven. I believe it. But I don't think that to me, it's not to be ruled in. I wish that everybody talk about heaven was doing. I wish that. Yeah. So it's nothing to be bigoted about. Number two is, I want you to understand that in this text here, you'll find out that a lot of things happen, and we take it out of context. When you look at the 37th chapter of Genesis, number one, you'll find out that Joseph was raised up in a dysfunctional home. Can you see that? I started off telling you about Jacob loved Joseph, but his brother hated him. That's bad, ain't it? I'm talking about something to his brother, right there in the house. Yeah. But we got to go beyond that, because we got to understand God does things that we don't understand. We can't understand. I don't care how smart you are, you can't look at God. He let a lot of things go on. Well, I know, you know. They tell me, but he had different moments about the children and all that. I heard that. You're correcting them, but that ain't the point. See, when you get down to the 50th chapter, Joseph said, hey, I know you meant it for evil, but what? God let me do this so he can save the whole world. Lord have mercy. Boy, see, we don't know what we had, but if we put our hand in God's hand, you know what? Through the ups and the downs and the many trials and tribulations, we'll be all right. Now, if you hold on, now if you don't hold on, ain't no telling what's going to happen to you, me, and nobody else. Because you're going to get lost by the wayside and you get washed under. And Joseph's brothers didn't like him because his daddy made him a coat of many colors. Now you know Jacob was Joseph's dad. Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know Jacob was Joseph's dad. And he got Joseph for a son in his old age. And he loved Joseph, and he made him a coat. And when he made Joseph a coat, his brothers and them despised him. Yeah, I'm the own brother. So don't tell me about outside resistance and all that. It's people near and dear to you. They don't lie. Don't, you know, but you gotta have in your bones persistence in God. And what I'm saying is you gotta believe what you said. And you got to believe what God said in order for you to come to pass. Yeah. If you stay with God, God will stay with you. And it bothers me all the time. It bothers you too, bro. How people get walked out of shape on a little bit of stuff. You know, they get angry. Yeah. And you know what? And the devil won't let them let it go. They'll be mad at. They'll be mad, and you don't even know what to mad about. But we Christian folk, and when I say Christian folk, God made us different. We got to act different, think different. Yeah. And we got to look at the long run. And what we are looking for to spend eternity with Jesus Christ. Regardless of everything. If you and I spend our lives on this earth and miss heaven, boy, we're going to be in big trouble. But I thought about to tell you, we got to keep on marching up the King Highway. So after while, by and by, in just a few days, when this old life is over, you know what? I want to fly away. I want to fly away. But I know I can't get there if I stop in this humanistic time. And if I listen at wrong influence. And if I don't read my Bible, and if I don't believe what God said. See, we are faced with a lot of things. A lot of folks says, you believe somebody else wrote that Bible. Yeah. But I don't believe like that. Because you can't find no faults in it. You don't need no eraser. And anything lasts over 1,000 years. And you know, we call ourselves have smart people in the world, and they ain't found any flaw. Now, they have made up many in their mind, but they have not been accurate. But God, whatever he said, you know what he'll do? He'll do just what he said. Yeah. See, I've been down and he brought me out. And I told you last week that I've seen God work. I've seen sick folk get up off of their sick bed. I've seen them in all the country. I ain't talking about one day. I ain't talking about 1 week. I'm talking about several weeks. And come back and they living a very active life now, just like nothing never happened. I've seen that with my own eyes. I don't have to worry about that experience or nothing. I know what God can do. And I'm going to believe in him until I die. See, my mind made up. My soul is heaven bound. I talk like that all the time to remind myself. That's right. You know, every now and then you got to encourage yourself. Yeah. And you ain't no too good at shoes and all that stuff. You ain't a great Christian. No, that ain't the point. The point is that I want to remind myself what God got in store for us.
Oh, yeah.
See, he said, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. The things that the Lord have in store for him that love him. Yeah. And if you love the Lord, it can't be no quitting. Joseph and his brothers had went down to feed the flock. And his daddy sent him down to check on him. So when Joseph left home, he went down to check on him. And when he got down there, they had moved. They had been gone so long, evidently they probably needed some grain somewhere. So they had went on down to a place called Dothan. And a man found him in the field and told him, say, your brothers, they gone on over a little further. So Joseph thanked him. And he went on over. And when he went over there, they seen him coming. And when they seen Joseph coming, that's when the plot began. So they plotted to kill Joseph. And the brothers told him, said, no, we don't need no blood on our hands. Said, y'all put him over there in the pit. And that ought to sacrifice. And that's what they did. They put Joseph over there on the pit. And Reuben wanted to go back and get him later on, but when he went back, he was gone because they had got him out of the pit. They had sold him to the Israelite, and the Israelite carried him down to Egypt. And they took the coat that Joseph had on and they killed the goat. And they blooded the coat up and carried it back to his dad. And when they carried it back to his daddy went in home. Because that was his son and he loved him. The Bible said he loved him. And he loved him and gave him that coat. So he was in mourning for a long time. But in the meantime, Joseph wasn't dead. But they thought they had gotten rid of him. Now y'all can look in here and you can get you 20 stories on that yourself. When they think you're gone, you know, but they had sold him and he was down in Egypt. So Joseph was gone down in Egypt. They sold him down there. And when he got down there, and Rena brought that up, Joseph didn't change. And I told you in the beginning that Joseph came up in a dysfunctional home. But when he got down to Egypt, Joseph didn't change. His personality was the same as it had always been. And that's a story right there yourself. Can you keep your personality as a Christian? Okay. Regardless of what? I don't care what they say about you. I don't care what they do. I don't care how they cuss y'all. Can you keep your personality on a strenuous situation? But that was the kind of person that Joseph was. And Joseph kept his personality. And when he got down there, Potiphar and his people looked at him because he was a good-looking young fellow. And Potiphar and them gave 30 pieces of silver for him. Yeah. Carried him home with him. And then after he got Potiphar and his entourage, carried him home with him, Joseph was doing all this good work. He never changed his personality. And all of a sudden, Potiphar trusted him so much. I mean, he wasn't nothing on his record. He hadn't done that. So he said, I'm going to leave you in charge. Now, he was a Hebrew. And you know, Potiphar was an Egyptian. Hebrews and Egyptians can't stand each other. So, after he had got, after Potiphar had got Joseph home, got him straightened out, and he was doing real good work, his wife, once Potiphar left, his wife just could not leave him alone. Now, persevere. Joseph was 17 years old when they carried him out there and put him in the pit. So a lot of time had passed. So Joseph now had grown to about maybe 25, going on getting close to 30. And this lady just wouldn't leave Joseph alone. She tried every trick in the book in order to get Joseph. And he ran out of his coat. Now, when you see coat, Joseph had a lot of coat trouble, didn't he? So he working in the house alone with the wife, and she tried her best to get Joseph to lay with her, but Joseph ran out of his coat to get away. And then she lied. She would have found everybody she could tell. Now, hey, this Hebrew, they done brought him in with us. Look what he done done. He done tried his best to rape me and all that. And you know that was a lie. A lie is easily taught. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Folks will believe a lie better than they will the truth. That's right. Trump did it, didn't he? He'll tell you, folks believe a lie so quick. and they won't hold on to it. But anyhow, they put Joseph in prison. Boy, I got to hurry up. They put Joseph in prison. Now, he was 17 when he started, and now he's getting on about 25, close to 30 years old, and he done spent 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison. Joseph ain't did nothing yet. And then this man had a hard time, right? So you have to look at your life. Really look at your life. You ain't did too bad at all. You know, because people will do different things to you. But you got to learn how to persevere. And I told you I was just going to give you a snapshot of persevere. In the 39th chapter, we found out that his brother didn't like him very much. And he was about 17 in there. In the 40th chapter, the butlers and the bakers and Pharaoh, they are with Joseph in prison. The butlers and the bakers in prison with Joseph. And after Joseph had got in prison, I guess you know what happened to him, they made him the head of the prison. They had a man in jail. He's a foreigner. Then they made him over the prison. And that's just kind of personality he had. And the law was working with him. Now the law will work with all of us if we give God our attention. He'll work with you and me. And I'll tell you, there ain't no such thing as no bench members. We are all God's children. Amen. Yeah. And all you got to do is step up to the plate and God will do something with you. Yes, sir. But Joseph wound up in prison. Then we found out that after he had been in prison 2 years, and they finally, Pharaoh had a dream. And they finally thought about Joseph again. So you know, all his life started out talking about dream. And what the dream that Joseph had was that their sheaves was going to bow down to his sheaves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I didn't want to run across that too bad, because do we know what sheaves is? See, that's way back in the first chapter. I missed it, but I wanted to bring it in there. That's how Joseph got in trouble, because when he told his brothers that I had the dream that y'all had to bow down to him, they didn't like that. And that ninth verse, his dad said, boy, what's wrong with you? You think me and your mama gonna bow down to you and all that stuff? And that dream ain't got him in trouble. But when you read the story, when you read the whole story, exactly what Joseph said was gonna happen, you know what? That's what happened. Right. So don't be careful in life talking about what you won't do, I ain't gonna do. I don't care what they say. No. Now let me tell you. Once you hook up with Jesus, I'm a living witness. There's some change gonna have to be made. And that's what I worry about all the time. If you've been going to church all your life and your attitude ain't changed yet, I mean, you still lying, cussing, you still fussing, you still, you can't take nothing. And you said, child, I've been on Rise Star 35 years. But your personality ain't changed a bit. Because what we got to do, we got to imitate Jesus Christ, right? That's the image that we got to personify. Yeah, we got to put it out there. We just like we in God's state. And once we've been born again, we represent him Now the chocolate wasn't about that. Boy, now that really told me, you mean to tell me you're going to be a spokesman for Jesus Christ? Boy, you got to come on up. I mean, you can't just lay around and you can't not read, don't know what you're talking about, ain't even trying. That's where we're in the shape that we're in, I suppose. I'm gonna put it on there, I suppose. Before COVID-19, people have been using the church down through the years. And you know what? They make money and do everything with it, but they don't give Christ their life. Now, the reason we know that is because they fall by the wayside. When all the trouble comes up and everything, they finally silver away. Here come another group, do the same thing. But this thing is about one thing. Church is about giving God praise, giving God glory and honor. And when we do that, we learn to live one another. See, we learn, if you don't hate me, and I don't hate you, you know what? We're going to get along fine.
That's right.
You know what happened? We're going to do something. But when we sit around, one sitting over here in this corner, one sitting over there in that corner, I can't stand. What? Now, see, you ain't got God in you. Because if you got God in you, that got God. Right. And then we got to always understand it. Now, Joseph was a persevering man. And I told you, persevering is doing something despite the difficulty or the delay in order to achieve success, right? That's what it said. But I know you could identify with that story. But I thought, nowadays in time, I would come a little closer. I want to tell you about another man. Another man's name was Abraham Lincoln. Ooh. Yeah, that was our 16th birthday, right? Abraham Lincoln, they didn't even like how he looked. But you know what Abraham Lincoln did? Number one, Abraham Lincoln taught himself to be a lawyer.
All right.
Taught himself to be a lawyer. He had that much fortitude in him. And what he did is he ran for other offices before he ran for president. And I stopped by to tell you, check it out sometime. He didn't win everything like you think he would. But Abraham Lincoln, when we finished looking at his picture, he could have been a hero. He could have been a hero. They used to call them like OA. And at the same time, Abraham Lincoln was a gentleman. They said he was a great gentleman. He was honest, and yet he was a superhuman being, and he was just so shrewdness in his cunning. He was also Father Abraham, and he wielded his authority to support weak in equal things, and he was almost like a next door neighbor. Now all this comes because, you know, we freed the slave. Abraham Lincoln had a heart that, hey, this ain't right. I don't care what you say about it. That really killed him. Booth killed him because it was almost like in the situation we are now with the voting right. But Abraham Lincoln was the kind of person that he would support the weak. And I'm just trying to give you a snapshot of perseverance. In our lives, we got to learn how to persevere. Persevere. We got to go all the way through. And if we do that, when you come down, it'll be well with our soul. Abraham Lincoln, he had great temperament. And they said that his quality in faithfulness and honest and insight and courage, that he should have been called a hero. That was the kind of man that served in the United States. And my thing is for us to always know that we can persevere because we got God on our side. Now, the difference between the two is Abraham Lincoln and Joseph. The difference in the two is one was a divine goodness of God. That's the difference. God allowed Joseph to be sold and to go down into Egypt in order to save people's life. And I ain't talking about no one or two. At one time, and you probably can find this in the 41st chapter of Genesis, the famine had got so severe all over the world that they didn't have food to eat. The famine had got so severe, not just in one state, one country, all over the world at the same time. And they had a 7-year famine. Now that's kind of tough. But I want you, don't get upset. Don't get upset. See, we have a problem right now, but I know we don't look at it. Grocery stores is running out.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you got to open your eyes and realize what's going on. Now, COVID-19 is not just here in the United States,
That's right.
but it's been all over the world. So when you really sit down and take time and read your Bible and understand something, it's been some things that already have gone through here, but we just didn't pay attention to it.
That's it.
Now, I was telling my brother the other day, some people tell me, I'm on wait till this COVID-19 clear up. Supposedly don't ever clear up. See, you might have to live with this thing. I'm talking about just reality. Yeah, you might have to wear out your mask, you might have to have the distance, social distance. You might have to do many of things. So you can quit fooling yourself down. I'm going to wait till they get back to normal. This is your normal. Every day of your life is that this is your normal. And I hope you realize it. And when you realize that, you're going to get up and you're going to move on because you can't wait for no specific time.
That's right.
You can't wait for no specific time. You be waiting around all your life. Some people talk about I ain't going to church here. And I don't mean no disrespect to nobody because everybody do what you need to do. But I'm going to tell you that you might not never get back to church no more. You get sick and die. But you waiting on a convenient time and it can't happen. Now, I'm through with the sermon, but let me tell you this. In Ephesians 3:21, it says, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. We got to have something in us. And it said, unto him be the glory in the church in Christ Jesus through all ages, world without end. God is able, ain't it? The reason we know he's able, boy, Lord, here we is, Sunday morning,
Amen.
the 29th, yes sir, of August. God has taken care of you and I through the pandemic. Yeah, now,
Oh, yes.
I ain't got no special suit. I praise the Lord. I took my shot and everything, but I ain't got no special suit. But I thank the Lord for just letting me live on. And there's a lot of folk, boy, they told you about what, 600 some thousand. It's a lot of folks that died. And you don't think we got a reason to say hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, glory to his name. That's the kind of God that we serve. Thank you. And we going to give him all the praise.
Right now, Lord.
All the glory. All the honor
Right now,
for
Lord.
the rest of our life. Because that's the kind of God we serve. And I think, and I know you think him too, but I just come in to help all of us uplift the name of Jesus. Yeah. This ain't about no fame. This ain't about no claim. This ain't about nothing you own, all that stuff. Because either you're going to leave it or it's going to leave you. But when you get your soul right, and this is what we concentrate on. We concentrate on when we die. When it's all over. Said and done. Yes, sir. When we walk, them golden streets over there in Jerusalem. Yes, sir. Everybody gonna say, how that happened. And it's never goodbye. And I'm gonna tell you, they gonna be singing and they gonna be shouting 24/7. Now, if you think going to church now is a hard chore, boy, I feel sorry for you. They gonna sing and they gonna pray every day, all night. So what a wonderful time it's gonna be.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time. A glory, hallelujah, good time. So I'm expressing to you today, I hope you at least got one or two things from this text. That it takes perseverance in order to be a child of Christ. I'm going to leave it just that simple. It takes perseverance. And you'll face many a thing. But through it all, you'll be all right if you stand up in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
Come to Jesus.